Oh, that's why. I know why.
Is it not plugged in?
Hold on.
You wanna
But
try this
now,
again?
now there's no camera.
You can start again.
Yeah, we're going to start again. Let's start again.
You got to know when to hold 'em, when to hold 'em, know when to fold 'em, know when to walk away, know when to run. You never count your money when you're sitting at the table. There'll be time enough to count in when the dealing's done. You got to know when to hold 'em, know when to fold 'em. Know when to walk away, know when to run. You never count your money when you're sitting at the table. There'll be time enough to carry when the deal is done.
You've got to know when to hold 'em, know when to fold 'em, know when to walk away, and know when to run. You never count your money when you're Deutschmarks. Yes. When you're sitting at the table, there'll be time enough for counting when the dealing's done. Uh-oh. Hello, I am Panzer Ghost, and I kind of stole the microphone, and I'm getting an evil eye. So I better turn it back over to the Meisterburger, Burgermeister, Joe Lewis. Yay! I know when to run.
All right. That was my fault. I hit the mute button on the mic.
Well, I mean, you can
they didn't hear your mistake. Yeah. Okay. Well, everybody, welcome
it
to
was Panzer Ghost.
Panzer. Yes, there's a ghost in the machine. Hello, everyone. I am Joe Lewis of Battle Rankings. I am joined by my lovely and talented producer, Ann. Say hi, Ann.
Hi, Ann.
We are here today. The subject is command cards. Yeah, actually, you know what you didn't hear? You didn't hear all the mistakes in the first thing.
We screwed up.
Well, we screwed that up raw, and I'm like,
comedy of errors. It's like, what the heck?
It was comedy gold, but no one heard it other than us chuckling. Anyway, so there you go. Anyway, everybody, we got well, you got to know them. Got to know
when to hold them.
When to hold them.
When to fold them.
Fold them. Walk away.
Walk away.
Run.
Run.
It's about command cards, everybody. So yeah, we found something that that was cardish and pokerish. That's what the picture was there for. But anyway, before we do that, I'm gonna do what we do every time. We talk about hold on, bigger upcoming tournaments, and then we'll get into our main section. So for those who want to know, tournaments are coming up. By the way, if you have a tournament that you know of, either post it here or send me some information or a link to it, and I will include it. The idea is to get the information out there, and that for everyone who watches this, they could be up to date on their tournaments. So upcoming ones on the 15th is in Newark, Ohio, Game Time Adventures. We're going to have, actually make it bigger here. They're doing Late War 105, 3 rounds. On the 22nd at Family Time Games in Indianapolis, that's my store, we're doing Flames of War Mid-War 90. Mid-War 90 for Change of Point, 3 round. I think we capped it off at 24, and last time I looked, it was 23 people signed up. So that filled up pretty quickly, but there is a space left. Then also on the 22nd in Minneapolis, the Screaming Eagles are putting together a tournament. An escalation, 75, 90, 105, 3 rounds. It's a Saturday. And on June 12th and the 13th, there's DDay, which is in Connorsville. They're doing Team Yankee on Saturday and actually, I think it's 105, not 120. I got to double check that. And Patrick is saying that the Minneapolis one filled up 20. So we hit our cap 20 here too. Okay, so by the way, people are itching to play games. So DDay 120. By the way, I know that's getting filled up too, and also registration is about to change. So if you
Connorsville, Indiana.
Connorsville, Illinois.
Oh, Illinois.
So it's actually by St. Louis.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then they're doing Late War 105 on Sunday. Then on the 19th and 20th of June, Station Retro, they're doing Late War 105, 5 rounds. So it's 2 days, 5 rounds. So we got a 2-dayer there. So that should be interesting. Then on June 26th, we are doing a side tournament because we're going to have Team Yankee Masters that weekend, but we're going to do a side tournament of Flames of War for those who want to travel with their. I just found out that the DDay is both 100, 105 both days. But back to Family Time Games on June 26th. So if you have a buddy who's coming to Masters, Team Yankee Masters, and you want to travel with them and you have a tournament to play on Saturday. So I'll be running both tournaments. And of course, Masters, Team Yankee Masters is on the 26th and 27th. Gen Con. I know Gen Con is moving forward. I think Chris could probably post up there, see if we're actually figure out how many tables we're going to get. I think that's where it's coming down to right now. How many people we can go and how many days. Hopefully we'll get to 3 days. Advanced Colors, no word yet, but I'm sure there'll be something. CincyCon, I'm sure there'll be something. And of course, Chris says they don't have any details at this point, but hopefully they'll figure out something because it's going to be here before you know it. And of course, Historicon, which is eating up Fallen in Lancaster on November 11th. So,
that back, didn't
no, well, it was the weekend after 4th of July.
Yeah.
And they pushed it back, thinking that they'll have a better time because it is PA. And who the hell knows what's going on in that state? But it is PA. So hopefully they'll get something going. What did come off was NashCon. Unfortunately, this didn't seal the deal. So anyway, that's a shame because that would have been nice to have something in NashCon. But there it is right now. It's kind of funny how this stuff's filling out. We're starting to get some Junes. I'm sure we'll be seeing some Julys here shortly also. All right. Let's talk about the main thing, about the main tournament, the main reason we're here. So that's command cards. So, I kind of I'm more of a lurker on Facebook and stuff like that. So I see what you guys are posting. That kind of gives me inspiration about when I see people asking questions, that kind of stuff. That kind of gives me inspiration. I said, I need to talk about that. So one of the things that came up was about command cards. And so first of all, in the rule book, did you know there's not one iota of a mention of a command card in the rule book. If you try to find it anywhere in here, it doesn't even reference them. In fact, you don't even need command cards to play. Matter of fact, the whole thing's set up so that you don't even need them. I know they added them. Obviously they have them, but even in the section, there's a section here about building your, picking your force, that kind of stuff. In that section in the back of the book, around 96, it doesn't even talking about getting command cards or even thinking about them or how they would apply. Yeah, they're not in the book. So why? I thought that was interesting. So the argument about no command cards is the fact that it's not in the book. But let's go with the argument of why we need, why one should play with command cards. The command cards add variety in flavor. Historicon is at Valley Forge Casino. Oh, okay. Oh, that's interesting. I wonder where I got that from. Well, that was in Lancaster. Or anyway, we'll move forward. But the thing about command cards, not in the book. So when you buy a pack of command cards, should just hand one up here. You buy.
You don't have an example on your screen or anything?
What's that?
Let's show an example on the screen.
I was just looking for.
Maybe in your bags.
No, I was shuffling things around. You know what? Here we go. Here. So when you buy your deck of command cards, you're probably just like me. You open them up, and the piece of paper that's in there, I just throw that away. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like the same thing with regular playing cards, and I just open them up and I start looking at them. So, but let's refer to that piece of paper. So here's the piece of paper that actually comes in the command cards, and this is the command card rules. That's the rules right there. I don't know if you guys ever noticed that. And it's actually, this is page 1. The icons page 2, then 3 and 4. Yeah, don't throw away that paper. That is the rules. You just need one set. So what I'm going to explain about this set of rules, which, by the way, it looks so simple. I mean, it's not much there. So we take a look at it. And what I did is I broke it down in a couple things. First of all, there are scope, the card scope. So on the bottom of the card, with a section that says keywords, those keywords tell you what you can do with the card. So the green box here is a force card, not like Jedi Force or anything like that, but it's the force of your entire force on the table. Example, the lucky card, or any of those cards where you actually that's about right. It's so simple. What possibly can go wrong? Well, yeah, because the thing is the wording on the card is where we get in trouble. But if you know these couple simple rules, first of all, a force card, it applies to the entire army, and for reserves, it's always on the table. So your lucky card, your create your own luck card, or that kind of stuff. Those things are force cards. They affect the entire army, and they always start on the table. So for your reserves, they're on. They're part of your 60% starting. Now, this one's going to be a formation card. Well, basically, it's a formation. So the card affects the entire formation, and those rules were applied. But when it comes down to reserves, most formation cards say, add 2, -1, or something like that per unit in the formation. So whatever units start on there, the math affects the reserves.
What are you chewing on?
Um,
Why don't you tell everybody what you're eating?
a butterscotch. Well, you don't think it's
Werther's original. They're not. Obviously, no, they're not.
No, they're not.
They're like grandma butterscotches. I don't know where I got those.
Well, I usually suck down a Werther's.
Yeah.
But when it gets down to the little thin part, I just like. What was that bothering you?
I could hear it click. I wonder what it sounds like on the microphone.
Oh, this mic? Oh, it's not that sensitive. They're probably people with their big basses in their homes and stuff. They're crunch, crunch. It sounds like Godzilla walking by. Anyway, I digress.
I digress, not you. Go ahead.
I do. You do?
I did too.
Okay. The formation. So any units in the formation that has those points, that are attached to them affects reserves. If you're, like the best card, you add 2 for the unit but the whole formation has to have, units in the formation that apply to the wording on the card, get a +2, or +1 for the HQ, being literal here. And those are applied to the reserves, or if you take the 1/16th or the 20th, the math, it's 11 points for some Panzergrens. You take the 1/16th, you -2. So for the reserve purposes, they cost 9. All right. Then there's a unit card. So on the bottom, it'll say unit. That affects the platoon. And that reserves, it's with the unit. So if the unit's off the table or on the table, that card the math will affect that unit's value. So once again, if Panzergrens, you get your best card, or the 1/16th card, you're adding or subtracting depending on what the card says. You're looking at 7 being 11 on the in reserves. It's actually 9 points. Excuse me. Right. And then there's a thing called build. So if the card says build on it, it actually can apply to a formation or a platoon. And once again, the reserves are just like I mentioned before. Now, there's certain cards with restrictions. There's a card called limited. That means that one card could be in the entire force. You can only have one copy of that card. The luck card, for example, or create your own luck. A warrior card. You can only have one copy of that warrior in the force. So it's not like you can have 3 or 4 Whitmans, which would be very interesting. And then in this thing, they have a thing called upgrade. A unit may only have one upgrade card assigned to it. Now, I've said, oh, that's interesting. And I said, oh, let's take a look for some upgrade. I cannot find, I went through all my cards. I could not find one card with the word upgrade on it. I think like the RPG 6, for example, card that for the Russians is a perfect example of an upgrade. No, there's no upgrade card. It's kind of like the wild card, wild card in the formation. I think they put it in there thinking that they're going to use it, but just never found a reason to use it. But the thing is, I know, and you know, that if you ever see upgrade, the unit can only have one of them. Anyway, there it is. So that's so you're looking at the wording of the card, so knowing how you will comply that card. Now, so when they made these sheets, there was only, I think the regular Germans, the first German book for the desert came out, and the first British came out. a lot of things have come out since they published this sheet. Okay. The thing is that whatever's on the back of the card, for example, this is Iron Cross, or this is the I got the Migration Soviet cards. If you pick a force that's using this, only these cards can apply to it. The unit that you're using, and the card that match it have to come from the same combo. So if you're this one, the Fighting First, that means the Fighting First book and the Fighting First cards are all together, which is that's pretty easy.
So no mixing and matching.
No mixing and matching if it comes from this, that, and the other. But there is a way to mix and match, and I will show that later. Okay. Now, by the way, for reference, now you see how big the rules are, right? The rules are the size of a playing card. It's 4 sides when it folds on out. You ready? You ready for this one?
Okay.
All right. There is the addendum. The lessons from the front. It's 2 full type pages of how to apply all that wisdom I just gave, all those rules I just gave you. I'm not going to go reading through all of this, but I'm going to show you how these things apply. It's kind of funny. I was looking and I said, oh, look at the rules and look at that. I guess that's the thing when you
open a can of worms.
Well, when you create this and you do kind of open a can of worms, but that's okay. It's growing pains, and I think it makes the game better as long as you know how to apply. Let's take a look here. Let's move on. I'm going to do is give some examples of how all this wonderful stuff works. Okay. For example, let's look at the Courageous and Faithful card. So this is a U.S., so belongs to the U.S., which makes sense, and also only the Fighting First, because that's the card it comes on. So it matches the book. So if you take a Stuart Tank HQ or Stuart Tank Platoon, this card applies to that. And for 2 points, you upgrade, though they don't use the word upgrade, or they could. And if you notice, it says the word build. And if we look at what build means it can be a formation or a platoon. So the card's option. So this card is kind of interesting, is that if you did a Stuart company in mid-war, and you got yourself the headquarters and 2 sets of 4 units of Stuarts, you could buy all 3 units, this card, or just one, and apply it to it, because the word build in there. The build tells us that the formation or a platoon. So you can upgrade the whole formation, or you can upgrade a unit. For 2 points per. So, and if you use, and I highly recommend using the, whatchamacallit, I highly recommend using the Forces app that they got there. It's like $1 for the formation. It doesn't cost that much. It's well worth your time, because you could sit there and fiddle and plan and with the unit, but the thing is, if you drop it down, there's a drop down box here, and you could say, hey, how many of those I want to apply? Now let's take a look at this one, the Palm of Victory card. Once again, it's in the Fighting First. This one it's formation only, and it only applies to the commander. Formation commander. So it has a halted rate of movement of 3 when it's for its 75 gun. Also, it has the halted rate of fire 2 for 37 when using as a secondary role. So this guy can lay out some shots. But the thing is, it's the U.S. formation, and it's only the commander. All said right there. So that's a pretty interesting card. But it gives you an example: U.S. formation and and then limit. And if you read it, it's the formation commander. So you can only get one of those. Now let's take a look at this. Like for this card here, tank raid. The card says when you're basically it's a force, so that means that it affects the entire army. It's limited. I can only have one, and when your opponent would roll first roll for air support, they automatically fail to receive. So for 1 point, you tell them no air, don't even bother to roll. It's a fail. Or this one here, this favorable position. This one is, if you look, it says unit. So that means only, and then it says for M10 tank destroyer platoon. So if you did it like, for example, a tank destroyer company, and you had the HQ, which is like a Greyhound thing. And a Greyhound scout car? No, what do they have? Oh, anyway, it'll come to me. And you have your M10s. You could buy this for one of your M10 platoons. So the unit passes shoot and scoop move orders on a 3+. It's because it applies to a unit and it's limited. So that means one unit gets that favorable position. You couldn't buy for both of your M10s or 3 of your M10 units. And it's an M20. I like how the little car is an M20, but the M10 is the main muscle. It's Uncle Sam for you. Excuse me. Then here's another example. Commando Kelly. Though I've never seen one play with this guy. In there, I think version 3 you saw him a lot, but not here. Each shooting step, pick one infantry team, and then re-roll failed roll to hits. Well, unfortunately, it's a warrior, and he is with a rifle platoon. So this white rifle platoon gets assigned Commando Kelly, and the last stand of the unit's a 2+. That represents him, holding on to the bitter end. And also, it's a warrior. That means you only can have one Commando Kelly, and you get to reroll hits. I guess what you're really paying for is the last stand of a 2+. Then William Wilbur. This guy. He's a formation. Now it says formation. Thanks, Chris. The thing came up. It's a white scout car. Back to William here. He's a formation commander. So hence U.S. formation rifle company. So you need to have the rifle company. It's a warrior, and he it can be. You re-rolled to hit and one fail power to one of the following, and that's within 4 inches of each shooting step. So anyway, so there's the formation commander. So basically, if you had hello Wilbur. Anyway, they're doing the
Hello,
Wilbur.
And Mr. Ed.
Yeah, Mr. Ed.
There you go.
Horse is a horse, just of course. Yeah.
Horse is a horse. Of course, but no one can talk to a horse, of course, unless the horse, of course. And it's the famous Mr. Ed.
This is a famous, but the thing is, he kept quiet. So was he really famous?
Well, that's true.
Yeah, that's a good point. Commando Kelly, Rich tells me, the mayor of Pittsburgh tells me that he was born and raised in Pittsburgh. That makes sense. Excuse me. What? My whistle? So, as you can see, you take a look at the card, and the card can tell you how it applies. So, for example, say you take a tank company and you wanted some infantry. Because the warrior, like you got a rifle platoon, you could take Commando Kelly to be part of a rifle platoon. That's not bad. You basically, and I could see how this would play too. You put them out there and you go, hey, you're going to hold on to this objective by yourself, and knowing that you have a last stand of 2+. And your rest of your force is pushing on to something else. So basically, you give them the assignment of holding on to an objective. Where if you have William here, and you did a tank company, and you have that one rifle platoon and support, he is now eligible because he's formation, and he is a formation commander.
Do they have an Audie Murphy card?
Not yet. You know what? The thing about Audie Murphy is he's more famous in Italy, and they haven't done an Italy book. Because Audie Murphy in Italy would be pretty good. And also the West Coast American Japanese were also in Italy. Those are cool, like, kick-ass platoons that you could take, Anyway, can a U.S. rifle have an LMG team? That would be nice with Commando Kelly. Yeah, actually, on the card you have an option for a light machine gun. Right? Yes, you could. You're 10 stands plus a bazooka, or 7 stands in a bazooka, and you have an option to buy an LMG. I think that's pretty standard on most of the U.S. But anyway, we're not talking about. We're going to talk about command cards. But there you go. So if you take a look and you just use this, the force, that means it affects the entire force. That means the reserve will always be on the table. If it says unit, it only can be one platoon. If it says limited, only one card can be used. The warrior unit, you can have that, and doesn't have to be within a formation. Or if it says formation warrior, you have to have a formation to have that card. Most likely it's because he's the one I see. I hope that explains how those cards work and how would you want to use them. All right, here comes the interesting part. So I used American First as the starting to begin with, because, well, first of all, it's mid-war and there's only one book, so you can't really go wrong with the cards. But let's take a look at this example. So let's take a look at these cards here for German late war. So you got your 116, and you got your 9th, and you got your 20th. All right. And by the way, I copied this thing out of the lessons in front. Do I need to state which formation or unit the card applies to? So when you put the stuff on the table and you're in that moment telling your opponent what you have and what they have and that kind of stuff, you got to say when you add a formation or a unit command card to your force, you must state which formation or unit applies to. So you need to indicate that somehow. So, for example, you can have the 1/16th, and if you take a look, it says. By the way, I don't know why they didn't do this for, like, for example, this card here. It says build, like the courageous or faithful. It says build, right? If you go over here, it says build formation. Well, the build by definition is a formation or a platoon. Any tank or panzer company. Now, here, any tank or panzer company, Panzergrenadier company. So the question is that any tank or any Panzergrenadier company? Or is it any tank or a Panzergrenadier company? I don't know. I'm just.
You're not expecting an answer from me, are you?
No. By the way, I think the 1/16 only applies to a Panzergrenadier company. I'll give a reason why. On the 9th, the best infantry, it actually goes through armored SS Panzergren, SS Panzergren, or recon. By the way, I think this is the only thing. The recon, the recon upgrade. I think this is the only recon upgrade that there is that affects the stats. Here's the 20th. This one says any Panzergrenadier company. So the 20th applies to armored or regular Panzergren. Patrick says here, never seen so many people argue about the word any before. Well, actually, the English language is particular that way. You guys know about the eats, shoots, and leaves? So it's really important. Eats, comma, shoots, comma, and leaves. Well, that's a murder. Eats, shoots, and leaves. So there's no comma. You're talking about a panda bear.
Okay. All right.
So the comma is important,
Yeah.
right? So the word any here is important. Is it any tank company or any Panzergrenadier company? That's why I think the 1/16 doesn't apply to armor Panzergrens. That's just me. I should take a. Oh, you know what? I should take a look. I bet there's a thing in there in the lessons up front. But anyway, we'll do that at the end. The 20th. That one says any Panzergren company, so that'd be armored or regular Panzergren. That would apply. If you notice, no recon. Remember, recon is recon. They're not a Panzergren company. So I came up with some crazy thing, which is by the way legal, that you could have in your army, and if you want to drive your opponent crazy, you could do this. I get a Panzergren company. That's actually from the Migration book. I have support from the DDay Waffen SS, and I take a formation support from DDay German, and I get all cards. Yeah. So this one, I took the NCO shortage, and I select 5 because there's 5 there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that gives me 10 points back because I degraded the value on the card. Then here at the Waffen SS for my support, because that's the first book I picked was the Waffen SS because that's where I got my support. I have the SS Heavy, the 88 guns, so I'm going to do a pack front. So my pack front card comes from the Waffen SS command cards. It's an SS Heavy, and that's where the SS card comes from. And the last thing is I get from the DDay a Joe Schmo Panzer IV platoon, but I want to give them a 1/16 card because I could do any tank company, and I minus 2 points from that just to reduce. So wherever I pulled the unit from, that is where the that's where it would pull the cards from. So that's why if you pick the generic book, the forces, Oh, I'm losing my mind now. The generic book for what the hell's the name of the book? Oh, geez, oh Pete. The Fortress Europe book. Thank you. The Fortress Europe book. If you purchase the Fortress Europe book, there's not too many command cards. All right. So so yeah, that's what. Wow, never knew that. Yep. Yeah. Thanks. Yeah, I know there's a delay. But that's how you get your cards. You get them. They must match where they came from out of the book. So the book and the cards match. So you know that because the card has the picture of the book on the front of it. And that's how you match them. So you could see you can get some. Doesn't that mean the whole company? When you're referring to like Dean, are you referring to like, for example, the German D-Day, whole company? Well, first of all, let me go through a couple things. I'm going to back up here. So the 20th card, we're going to take a look right here. It says all units in the formation have a tactical, and it changes its tactical rating, right? So we look here. Here's the formation. It's what's in the bracket. Everything else is support or another formation. So that card applies to the formation. So we're going to go. All units in this formation must have these adjustments applied to them, and that's how you get the points. The German the German D-Day, the Panzer IV using the 1/16th card. We look at the 1/16th. That's where it says we got the word build. And any tank, or Panzergren, but any tank, and that is how we get the -2 from them. And of course, these stats will be applied to those Panzer IVs. Is there a restriction on the title card? I briefly understood the title card rule restricts the force to one title card. Title card. Hold on, let me see what you're referring to. Title card, title. Well, the title card represents a particular real-life division indicating above the card name. All title cards in the force must have the same title. Yes, that's where we're talking about how this says Panzergren Company, and this says any Panzergren Company. Then there's the word title. Right. That has to be in the title. That's how you match that up. So it's German, it's a build or formation. I don't know why, because they only have to use the word build, but there's the word formation anyway. Any Panzergren Company. So when I built this says it's a Panzergren Company. Boom, applies. Or the 9th here for the best. Any formation, it's a title card. Armored SS, Panzergren SS, those things. You can only have one title card per force. Oh, is that right? Is that in there? Oh, it's less than the front. Title card. Specific cards. Build cards. Building formation. I just want to make sure formation support reserves specific cards. Command and formation cards. Guys, I'm not seeing it. Do you know what page? No, what he is talking about is you cannot mix the Greyhound and the SS in the same formation, right? Yeah, you can't mix the formation. Yeah, you could. Yeah, you couldn't mix these two. That's yeah, yeah. You couldn't. You can't mix the two. Either they're the 20th, or they're the 9th, or they're the 1/16th. Right hand side under keywords. Right hand side on keywords. Build. All title cards was the same. Left hand. You said left hand? Right hand side under keywords. Keywords. Oh, I'm looking. That makes sense, though. Lessons the front. Oh. And you said right side. By the way, so you guys know what I'm talking about. Right side under keywords. Keywords. Oh, what does the title mean? You know what? First of all, we shouldn't be judging our formations based on their titles. Anyway, the title card, customize your force. You may only have one title card in your force. Oh, that makes sense. I didn't even think about it. I'm like, military right. I got it. It's it's all right. But yeah. I you know what? Actually, I didn't even think about why would you want to mix two formations like that. Sorry, I didn't even think about that because to me that was maybe beyond the pale that someone would want to do that. Okay, anyway. But let's talk about when you do something like this mess. Let's talk about how that does affect your unit. So if the number is on here, that's what's affected. If it's not listed here, it's unchanged. Okay. So there's like this whole question about, does the, like the heavy weapons team improve hit to hit? And the answer is no, because that's on the card and that's not, unless it's noted otherwise. I'll give an example. In the for the Americans, there is a card. It's one of the improvement to the it's one of the improvements to the here it goes. Always prepared, for example. The always prepared card for American Rifle in mid-war from the Fighting First. So for 4 points, so you add to your rifle platoon. What you get is your confident becomes a 4. I think it was 3. You're hit on 4s instead of 3s. You have a skill of 4 instead of 5. And then it notes here, assault 6 teams become assault 5+. So when you have a card that changes something, it has to be listed on here for it to be changed. Otherwise, it is the same information that is on the card. That does not get changed. If that makes any sense. So whatever the stats on the card is, this overrides those stats for those points. It says, okay, Jeffrey. What's it say here? It says under keywords in the lessons up front, you can't mix them in the same force. My understanding is that you can't have 2 title cards in the same force, even if it's the same platoon unit in that formation support. It can't take a different title card. Or am I reading that wrong? Well, hold on here. The title card, I'll just read it here. By the way, there's a section up here. I missed it. What does upgrade mean? Upgrade cards can fix your tank and other teams' existing equipment. A team can only have 1 upgrade. Oh, that's interesting. let's go here with back to the title. By the way, I still haven't seen an upgrade card. It's almost like World of Tanks or something like that. You want to, throw in a bigger gun or the bigger engine or something like that. Anyway, but I haven't seen a card that does an upgrade yet. The title card, see, with rules so short, what could go wrong? Yeah, that's right, Patrick. The card customizes your force to reflect a particular division or other formation. You may only have one title in your force, although you can have multiple cards of the same title. Oh, that's right. Yeah. So, for example, if you do the 116th and you have two formations of infantry, they both can be the 116th, but you couldn't have a 9th and 116th. All right. By the way, that's formation. So formations. So, yep, that is correct. I think, let me just read under keywords. Yep. My understanding is that you can't have two title cards. That's correct. Even if the platoon unit is a formation support. Even if it's a formation support title card, I'll go along with that. Oh, so what we're saying here is maybe my suggestion here is all wrong because I have this, and this. Oh, okay. Hold on. Maybe, thanks, guys. Maybe I should have caught that. It's just sitting in that little corner. Yeah, pop that up. Taking command cards, your force is to reflect a particular division or another formation. You may only have one title card in your force, although you can have multiple cards of the same title. Oh, my bad. My list is not legal, but it does show that what you could do if you go crazy. Yeah, so my list is not legal. So I'm glad you guys caught that because I wanted to make sure you guys were paying attention. You are the smartest audience of Flames of War in any broadcasting. That was my little test for you guys.
Yeah, right.
Well, anyway, but I'll tell you what force at war caught that? None. Walter, forces does not catch that. It will check to see if the combo is there, but it won't check to see if you're breaking other rules or complex rules like that. So that's okay. It's all right. So not that I would do this personally, but I was just trying to give an example. Well, the thing is that actually the D-Day thing I wouldn't do because I could just get a Panzer IV platoon with the migration, and yeah, I guess that's the only thing that breaks it because the SS is with the pack front. So that's not a title card. Because this is title. Okay. There you go. I need to update this and say that you can only have one title card, which would be here. Card restriction. You know what it was? I was reading this, and I guess I just didn't see the keywords there. I was looking at other stuff. All right. Hey, lessons learned. I just need to drop the one title card or the other. Yeah, and then that would be a legal list. But I was trying to show an example of craziness, but you can't do that craziness. Okay. Lesson. That's what I learned. You can't do craziness. What's all in a title anyway? Okie dokie.
Rose by any other name?
Yeah, Rose by any other name. Yeah, let's go and let me talk about the points. So when you're looking to apply the counterattack and those substitute. what is existing or adds. So if it's already there, it doesn't change it, it's not changed. Okay. Yeah. No problem. That's why we do this thing live. I missed that little part. That's like kind of like my famous, the one thing like everyone misses, and I'll just show that. And I talked about this in another book. It's when you're talking about the special orders in the rule book in 46. This section right up here, which is by this picture, your eye doesn't go right here, so you start reading right here.
Right.
Yeah, but this thing has a very important verbiage in it. Right? That's where it says unit leaders may issue one movement order each turn and then allow their unit to use clever tactics, crossing terrain, dashing ahead, or digging in.
Trashing it.
Yeah, whatever. Anyway, gun teams can only use dig in or cross here movement orders. So there's two important things. May issue one movement order. Okay, cool. The other one is that gun teams only could do dig in and cross here. And it's right there in this little section, and everyone's like, show me the rules. And you're looking all over the place, and your eyes never come up here. Anyway, it's just little things like that. Okay, anyway.
It's a design flaw.
Well, I think they were trying to get the picture in there, and they had space, and and it is a compact book, right? Like this is interesting. This is the black powder rules, which I have not read yet. It's so anyway. Okie dokie. Questions on the cards. So I'm not afraid to admit that I missed that. That's okay. I'm okay. I'm man enough to take that. Anyway, the rest is there. But that's your command cards in a nutshell. Any other questions out there for everybody? Yeah, actually that is correct, Patrick. Version 3 was 256 pages or thereabouts. Well, anyway, if you guys like this content and what we're doing here, hit the thumbs up button or the like smiley button or something like that, because that actually works in the advantage of the logarithm, and more people will see my posts. Things like crying faces or angry faces actually lessens the chance of people seeing the post. So smash that like button and get rid of sad faces. Because sad faces means that you're not unhappy about something. That means you're making a comment about the whole thing. I know it doesn't make sense because, like, for example, you can see a news article where something awful happens, and you could be angry about that something awful happens, but what the logarithm shows is that you didn't like the author or the news article, period. Not that the thing in the content made you liked the article, but it made you angry because of whatever is going on, or something like that. Anyway, there's that. People, smash that like button. Remember, we have a lot of content out there for various different rules. Just like this, we are going to be back next. We'll be back next week because the season of Team Yankee will have ended. It ends on the 30th here in a couple days. And we'll talk about upcoming Team Yankee Masters and the invites going out and all that wonderful stuff. And we'll take a look at the season and review of Team Yankee next week. Also, hey, do you know what next Wednesday is? Yeah, it's Cinco de Mayo.
Oh, Cinco de Mayo.
Oh yeah.
Hooray.
Yeah.
Shall we make like margaritas or something?
Ooh, margaritas would be good. Yeah, actually, I haven't had a good margarita in a long
I do
time.
have a new blender.
Yeah, maybe we'll do margaritas. You know what? Actually, next week have
Should do virgin margaritas.
yeah, do margaritas. Yeah. Anyway, so that would be Cinco de Mayo. Of course, the day before that is May 4th.
May the 4th
Be with you. Better have. Patrick says better have a good drinking game planned for that one. I'll see what I can do, and also that I not get kicked off. Anyway. What else? Yeah, like it. Tell your friends. Have the comments. Anyway, that is our comedies. Let's play. Hey, what have we learned? Well, I learned that I need to look all the way down at the word keywords. Which, by the way, when I said when I saw keywords, I
think of a test.
Well,
or a reading section in the social studies book.
There's that too. The thing is, I thought I had the keywords done, but it turns out I didn't. So even I can be schooled. Which happens. I'm just human. I'm just trying to answer questions I saw that on people answered. Yeah. Oh, right. Yeah. Patrick says if I get kicked off Facebook and I always watch me on Twitch, that's right. I maybe I'll unbutton a button or two here for you guys.
Baby.
Yeah. I learned that using cards never had before. Thanks. I learned about cards, and all right, cool. I wonder what cards those are. Why don't you just post it with card? What cards those are.
Learned something.
What did you learn?
Don't throw the paper away.
Don't throw the paper away. Yeah, that's the rules. Because I when I went to the rule book, I said, "Oh, what does the rule book say about cards?" And it's
Zilch.
Huh?
It doesn't say anything.
Zilch. Even like when it gives you an example about building a force, it doesn't even mention that, hey, you might do cards. It does mention the. By the way, one thing I did notice in here, it mentioned the wild card section. The wild cards. It says the wild card support option allows you to add interesting oddities to your force. These could include odd or experimental equipment and elite specialists like partisans or SAS raiders, which is interesting. Those things have been added, but none of them say that.
Maybe they need to revise the book.
Yeah. Patrick says, I've learned that the command card lessons, the front section, is way longer than the actual command card rules. That is correct. About anyone else? Anyone else learn anything? Oh, hold on. It says here, Jeffrey asked question, what command card formation or build unit are you experimenting currently?
Are you experimenting with?
Well, I guess the 20th for late war Germans. Though I'm going to be doing a mid-war tournament coming up. Mid-war doesn't have too many formation cards. They have ways of bolstering certain units. Like Ironsides. Oh man, here's the Ironsides, for example. The Ironside card, which is really good, because if you have the 81 millimeter mortars or the T-30 assault gun, or the recon patrol, for 2 points each, you can make their skill trained. 4+ instead of a 5+, because those are your artillery, and I think those 2 points are worth it, because if you're trying to hit something, you can range it. It's either ranging on a 5 or a 6. I'd rather be ranging on a 5 than a 6. All right, Patrick, thank you. Oh, yeah. By the way, at the end here, I just want to give a shout out. It is Andrew Hobson's birthday today.
Yay! Happy birthday, Andrew Hobson.
Yep. It's a spry 29. Yeah. Anyway. Okay. Did you want to play us out?
Sure. This is the little snippet we were playing before, actually. We're going to play the whole thing, or we can play as much of it as you want.
Yeah, play the whole thing.
This is interesting. It's a rock version of The Gambler by Chuck Canastano.
Oh,
sorry. Cantasano. I said it backwards.
Oh,
Chuck Cantasano. He is on YouTube. You can find him by Chuck Cantasano.
Yeah.
And he plays all the instruments.
He's playing all the instruments to this Kenny Rogers cover.
Yeah.
No, he's doing a cover of Kenny Rogers.
Yes.
The Gambler.
Right.
By the way, you know who's Kenny Rogers? Well, Kenny Rogers passed away.
Right.
You know who's best? You know who he thinks every day when he wakes up? Lionel Richie. Lionel Richie wrote a lot of Kenny Rogers hits. Yeah. Like Lady, So anyway, he's like, oh, thank you, God, for Lionel Richie. Made him a lot of money.
Yes, he did.
All right, why don't you go ahead and play it out? We'll make comments as we go.
Okay.
Because that's the kind of guy I am. Everyone have a good night as we just kind of rock on out.
Oh, shoot. Hold on. I unplugged my...
You unplugged it.
Yes, because it would be loud otherwise. Here we go. There you go.
All right. Nice little strumming.
On a warm summer's evening, on a train bound for nowhere, I met up with the gambler.
Oh, it's got a little echo going there. A little echo. You know what my favorite version of this song is? It's the one when Kenny Rogers was on the Muppets. Yeah, and they had a really cool looking Muppet as the gambler. And they're like riding a train, and he's singing the song. That was pretty good. It's pretty powerful, You got it, man. The Muppets is a really good. The Muppet Show is a really good show. So if you youngsters haven't seen that, it's a really good show. I think it's on Disney Plus, isn't it?
And they got a warning info now.
Boomerang chickens. Hey. Play it right. Yeah. Hey. We got. So this is what I want to walk away. So I was thinking, this is one of those things when you get those cards, like, do I want to use the create your own luck or all that stuff? When do I throw those cards out there? Because those cards have their timing issues on those. Oh, change your key. Well, what do you like? Jump up? And every hand's a loser. It's always good to know.
Play the regular guitar, bass guitar, drums, and everything.
No?
He broke even. Make those. Winter for now. Winter rock away. Winter run. When you're sitting at the table, there'll be time enough for counting. When the dealing's done, you got to know where to hold. Know where to fold up. Know when to walk away.
Walk away.
Know when to run.
Run.
Never count your money. When When you're sitting at the table, there'll be time enough for counting. When the dealing's done,
Phil. That was a nice Phil. What's the guy's name again?
Chuck Cantisano.
Chuck Cantisano. How do you spell it?
Cantasano.
Cantasano. Check him out. Yeah. Bump up his numbers, guys. Big holdout key. Everyone, have a good night. We'll see you next week. Cinco de Mayo.